Hey Ubers, Vivian here to share with you some inspiration. I want to show you how you can use your dies to make stamps. So I am going to be using a Sizzix Tim Holtz Alterations Bigs die. It's a new one. It's number 660236. It's called Butterfly Duo. And you can see there my Sizzix sandwich. It's my two cutting pads. And in between those I've got my Bigs die and some fun foam. And you can pick up fun foam at any major craft store. This particular piece of fun foam has adhesive backing on it already, so I saved myself a step of having to add some adhesive. I just have to peel off the backing and place these newly made stamps that I made at home onto a sturdy block. And these are acrylic blocks that I usually use for my stamping with clear stamps or cling stamps. This adhesive was pretty strong. If you want to have a really easy time removing it, I would suggest not getting the fun foam with adhesive on the mat, just plain old fun foam, and adding a little bit of removable adhesive so that removing those handmade stamps later is much easier. So I'm using these in conjunction with some distress paint that I have from Ranger. And this color is called Vintage Photo. And it was very fun stamping with these. As you can see, I tapped that paint onto my handmade stamp. And the color, that's a piece of craft paper, a strip of craft paper that I painted with another color of distress paint called Broken China. I'm also going to be using some Thinlits dies that are from the same new release. It's Sizzix Tim Holtz Alterations, number 660213. It's called Friendship Words Block, and I have all the links in the box below. And I'm using that in conjunction with my wonderful magnetic platform. And here it's very clear how wonderful a tool that is, because I really wanted those words to go exactly where you see them. And once I placed them and nudged them around exactly where I wanted them, I was able to send them through and not have to worry about whether or not they would stay put. So in just a minute, I'm going to show you very briefly how I upcycled my box and how this band of butterflies fits on that box. But I want to show you here, see how easily those words release from their dies? And you're left with some wonderful words. You've got a nice selection of words in that Thinlits die set, and they're nice and bold. I backed that band of butterflies with a piece of Coordinations Craft Core cardstock to make those letters really pop. I want to show you the Texture Fades embossing folder that comes with your Butterfly Duo Bigs die. I set some cream colored die cuts into that embossing folder and then put it between my two cutting pads and sent it through my Big Shot with my multi-purpose platform open to tab 1. And look at those beautiful patterns. I decided to use a cream color for some decorative elements on a rather grungy project. I wanted to lighten up just a little bit and add a little bit of gloss. Here I'm using Glossy Accents. So as for the box, I upcycled a perfectly good cardboard box. It had a shiny surface, so I sanded it a little bit first so it would get some grip. And then I added a few coats of gesso just to make sure none of the text would show through. And I did some really random brush strokes very intentionally. I'm going to use more of that Vintage Photo distress paint. And as you'll see, as I rub in the paint, it sort of sinks into the crevices of the gesso that I had applied earlier and gives a really wonderful, rich effect. I decided to go a little bit darker and add in a second color. So that's Vintage Photo along with distress paint in Broken China. So I wanted to show you something else you could do with your handmade stamps. You could make some beautiful, fresh, summery, handmade gift wrapping. I've got a roll of very flimsy white paper, very economical, and I'm just applying some ink in a variety of colors, summery, fun, fresh colors, And I'm going to cut that up and wrap up a present for a wedding. Some of these were stamped with distress paint and were a little bit more opaque. Some of them were stamped with distress ink, which were a little bit more transparent. But if you stamp a second and third time without reapplying paint or ink, all of the images get more faint, and that's attractive in its own way as well. So here you can see a fresher look, my handmade gift wrap, and a bright satiny coordinating ribbon. And this was my main project, a handmade keepsake box. And let me show you a close-up of the embossed butterflies. So I think I'm going to use this box to house seeds of plants that I've discovered this year are hugely successful with the pollinators. That includes Agilia. The variety is called Super Bee, I believe, and the bees, they hang out there all night. They sleep on it. And there's another poppy, I think it's called Prickly Bee, that the bees have loved, and also catnip. I hope you guys enjoyed my video and that you will try out making stamps from your Sizzix die cuts. Thanks for watching. Bye.